What's up, Desktopers? Xavier Wills here for Desktop Bodybuilding, and we are back with another episode of Bodybuilding University. And today I am joined by Matt Sinkering from Muscle Discord. I got it. We were just practicing that before the show. Zaid as well from, well, he's an iFB pro now, and also he is from the Fit Nation podcast with Beatty Farrell and the whole gang over there. And also iFB pro bodybuilder, a man that some people consider to be a potential future Mr. Olympia in Carlos Thomas Jr. Man, hating the attention off the bat. I can see you shaking your head, man. And we've been trying to do this for a while, bro. And I'll go to you first, Carlos, man. We're finally getting it done, and hopefully we can make this maybe a somewhat, bi-monthly thing or whenever you want to come on, bro.
Oh, yeah.
But how's everything been going, bro? I know you've had a lot of shit go down. Like, everyone's obviously heard about it, and being, a top IFBB pro, everything for you becomes public, which probably compounds things, makes things a bit harder for you. But what's been going on, man? Obviously you're prepping, you've gone through some hardships. We'll get that straight off the bat. What's been happening and what's happening with you now? Because I saw your latest photo, and it doesn't seem like any hardship seems to affect your physique too much.
Well, man, I tell you, man, it's been a roller coaster. I appreciate you for reaching out, to me during that time, and being just a good friend, dude. It really means a lot. A lot of people did. A lot of people showed me some love, and this is a really good community. That's what I want to say first and foremost. Like, I know it gets a lot of negative light, but I'm gonna be real. Like, I received nothing but positivity from the bodybuilding and fitness community. Here, man. Like, the people that I've met along my time during my journey in this industry, I've got shown nothing but love. So, I just can't. I can only speak on that and the testimony of that. So, I just want to put that out there. Everybody's been great. And I mean, I'm pretty sure they have some negative comments here and there, but I don't really pay attention to them anyway. But yeah, dude, it's been wild. We were prepping for the Arnold Brazil, and things were going good. They were tracking really well. I did have some issues with my colitis down in there, and we discussed that back and forth. Like, just a new environment, the heat, the stress of training, and the things that come in towards the end of a prep. With the orals and things like that tends to put a little bit of stress on my gut. So I had some issues with that. And, we were working through them, but then towards the end of the prep, just to speed run through it, and touch on it, I had a loss in my family. He was like my brother. He's a cousin who was 1 week apart from me in birth. We grew up together like brothers. Like, there wasn't a moment we didn't spend together. And, he passed away, and it was just, it was earth shattering for me, and it really rocked my world from myself and my family. So we, had everything for him, and that's a baby picture of us, man. And, some photos in there of us from, in the seats. Dude.
That's cool.
That's my grandma. That's my grandmother's doing right there. It looks like we're about to go sell you some insurance.
What? Wait. Dude, which one are you?
Jehovah's Witness.
You left? You're the left, right?
I'm on the left. That's my cousin.
You got the swaggy. You got the.
I got the Pilgrim 24s on, man. I'm about to settle the Mayflower. It's crazy.
Okay.
Yeah, we got some wild outfits. My grandma dressed us in and stuff. Yeah, that's him and I, a couple of my other cousins, and yeah, man, we had some great times there. You look like about to drop the new Boys and Men album right there.
Yeah, I was about to say, bro. I was about to say that.
The new R&B album.
This looks really good. This is too good.
Oh, man.
Yeah, dude, yeah. And then that was from my pro debut. He came and watched me, and that's my uncle, that's his father, on the left of the screen right there. They came to my pro debut, man, and it was wonderful, man. He was the loudest one in the room, dude.
That's cool, brother. I don't want to make you too emotional, man.
Yeah.
I'll
Nah, it's cool, bro. It's good, dude. It's good.
Because I was bringing those up, and I know when this sort of stuff happens, it can hit you at any time, bro. And it's one of those things that like it. Yeah. There's some people, and it's funny, bro, as well. Like, some people, I don't know what you've gone through in your past before this and things like that, and everything affects people to different levels, because I heard someone say recently, or I can't remember who it was, but the hardest thing you've gone through is the hardest thing you've gone through, and going through the loss of someone, especially so close to you, is basically the hardest thing you can go through. You know, there's nothing that compares close to that, you know? So credit to you, man, for being so open and being able to talk about it. And it's cool that you've got those memories and those photos. And, you know, it's like literally what just happened then. We were literally laughing about it. And then, you know, you get emotional about it. And that's what loss is, you know, it's a process.
Yes, it is. It definitely is. And, you know, there's been a lot of, you know, good people, you know, just imparting their experiences and, you know, maybe they're sharing with me like the times that, you know, the people they've lost in their lives. And, you know, it's really provided a good perspective for me because, you know, for me, it was just like, you know, the closest, you know, loss that I've had. And, you know, it definitely, you know, changed me, you know what I mean? I'll never be the same again. And I know that, but that's okay, you know, because we definitely move forward on trying to, you know, live life and, you know, live it the way that I know they would want us to. So, or he would want me to. So, yeah, man. So we had that go down. And I'm gonna be honest with you, man, like last thing on my mind was bodybuilding. I was going to keep prepping, try to do another show. I was going to aim for the cow. But you know, I just decided that, you know what, I'm gonna shut it down just because my mind wasn't really in it, you know. And, you know, bodybuilding is such I think more so a mental sport than it is a physical sport. Like we all love the gym, we can all do the training, but when your mind and your heart and your soul isn't really all aligned in your body as well, then it's just, to me, it's just a no-go, because I would give a half effort, you know what I mean? I wouldn't give my all. So maybe some people are different. Some people could turn around and take that and fuel it, use it to fuel them. But for me, I had to go through that process for it to, you know, really begin to pass. And, you know, it's settling in now and things are moving forward. And yeah, everything's good. Like, again, like I don't really miss a beat as far as like the meals and the training, but it's that extra step that we all know we have to go during a prep, that I was like, you know what, I got to get that, you know, I got to get myself back into a good frame of mind for that. So yeah, that's about it, you know, guys. It's yeah, I'm just now getting better though. I'm feeling better. Everything's rolling. Thank you.
Dude, but before I introduce Matt and Zaid as well, because I actually just realized all three of you, this is the first time you've been on this channel, so I've got to obviously do the formal introductions. But Carlos, like you said, man, going through that sort of thing, sometimes you want to throw yourself into a prep because you want a distraction. You know, you want that sort of, and sometimes that's not the healthiest way to do things. I know I've done that before, like when I lost someone very close to me. I threw myself into a prep and I was like, my mindset was like that sort of nutcase bodybuilder mindset where I was thinking, I was using whatever I could to go harder and have an excuse to go harder. You know, some people find excuses to go easier. I was finding excuses to go harder. So I was going, you know, what this person went through was 10 times harder than I could go through anything in prep. So just keep pushing. So I got unwell during my prep, and then I'd still go and train, still go and do my cardio, still do all that sort of stuff. And I literally ruined my body. Like I crashed my hormones and I wasn't even on anything as well. So it can go both ways. You know, you can not put your all into it, or you could put too much into it. And it's sometimes using prep as a coping mechanism. While it might not be bad for some people, yeah, like you said, it's not great for others. But Matt and Zaid, do you think that, before I introduce you guys, do you think that was the wisest decision for Carlos, just from the outside looking in? Because from my perspective, it seems like that's the wisest decision as well, especially considering, you know, the potential, you know, risks with the ulcerative colitis.
Yeah, I agree with your assessment there. And going through prep myself and competing at a high level, not as high as Carlos, but almost made it there. But definitely, especially with like a guy that's like your brother that you lose, and you're far away from home too. That's one thing. That's another thing. You weren't at home, so going back definitely probably made the best sense to go back home and be with the family.
Yeah, I totally agree with you, dude. Even though that some people use sadness for fuel, I thought you did the right decision, honestly, because your stock is really high right now. You're so big as well. You don't need size, right? At least in my eyes. So all you needed to do is to get ripped to the bone. And honestly, man, you are a top 6 Olympian. There's no need for you to do or to rush shows because your future is so bright. Without you trying to rush things, honestly, you did the right decision. There's always going to be shows coming along. this is just not meant for you to do. And you did the right decision, in my opinion. Yeah.
And Carlos, I think I've mentioned
especially, I'm sorry, one more thing, especially when you don't earn your living from bodybuilding prizes, you know, it's not like it's your actual livelihood where if you don't do this, you're going to be broke. This is still like, you know, not your main source of income, I would assume. So there's no need for you to show up anything less than 100% sharp, you know, this is just my opinion. Yeah. Plus, you risk again being by guys who are not as talented as you. You never want that as a pro bodybuilder. You know, that's my opinion.
Exactly. No, exactly. And I was just going to say that, like, that's. I mean, I think that kind of made my name on that kind of like consensus up until now. Like you know, when I get on stage, I always try to come with some sort of like, oh man, like he brought this, and this is new. Like, I took off 4 years before I even got my pro card from 2017 to 2021. And then, I went from middleweight to super heavy, won the whole thing. And then when, I came and did my, my pro debut, we had some bumps in the roads and things like that. But you know what? We were able to get it done. And it was a good package, and I still get a lot of respect for the package that I brought there. So again, I want to bring something that's good for me and the people who love my physique. So I'm not rushing it. When it comes, it comes, and it'll be coming soon.
Next year, bro. Next year.
Yes, sir.
It's all yours. Yes. Literally all yours. Yeah.
To avoid people asking in the comments, Carlos, and to get it off the bat, do you have any plans? And I don't want to put pressure on you, but do you have any plans for the contest, or just playing it by ear and seeing what sort of?
Just playing it by ear. I took some time off after that. Like, I came off everything. I mean, I let myself just take a long break from all the supplements. Like, I just wanted to just get a break. It's from everything. Again, like, I still trained, I still ate, and still make sure my body was feeling good. But I was just like, you know what, I'm gonna take a nice little break, use this time to be with my family. Get back to that and do some things with them, and not have to worry about all the little side things that come with bodybuilding and things like that. So I was like, all right, I'll just do that. So we're getting ready to start up a good, improvement season and see where things land, maybe towards the back end of the year. But right now, just playing it by ear. I feel like I'm in a good state health-wise for my body. Everything's like on point. Blood work's never an issue, so that's always good. And yeah, I feel good. I feel great. I feel better mentally, physically, and spiritually. I feel at a good point right now where I'm like, all right, I'm ready to go. And I had to get to that point first. So, but I don't want to turn this into talking about me, man. Let's get talking about
Yeah. I wanted to just get that out of the way, bro. Yeah. I know, because I even said, because I originally as well had planned to have Beatty on here as well. Yes. And I was talking to Beatty at the same time as I was talking to you, Carlos. So I'm like, 7 p.m. tomorrow, bro, 7 p.m. tomorrow, forgetting that he's West Coast. Well, I knew he's West Coast. I just don't know. And then I messaged him an hour before the pod saying, hey, pod in an hour. And he's like, 7 p.m? ? And I'm like, gosh, I messed that up.
He's like, I just woke up.
yeah, Beatty.
Poor head. Yeah.
Our dude sleeps in. But but anyway, I want to get on to the other two dudes and introduce them. And so everyone, if they don't know these guys, they can at least find out a little bit about them. And we'll go to Matt from Muscle Discord first. Man, you're blowing up lately. You're doing some big things on YouTube. I know we were talking about it before, how you completely screwed over Steve Weinberger.
Yeah. Yeah, that was hilarious, man.
Yeah. Tell the story, man.
Yeah. So I had the opportunity to have Steve on the show, and first we had issues with the Zoom link, excuse me, and he was struggling to log on with me, and that took like maybe 15-20 minutes, and then we got into the interview. About 7 minutes in, he got a phone call, and it kind of interrupted things, and it messed up his camera, and so we said, okay, let's log in, log off, log back in, and he did that. We started the second half of the interview, and we went through like 15-20 minutes, and then I was like, okay, great interview, see you later, Steve, we'll talk again. done. And then usually when you're done, you see that converting to video thing rolling, and I'd say, where is that, man? Where that didn't show up. So I was like, shit. I didn't press record, and fortunately, Steve was kind enough to come back on real quick and did the second half and banged out that interview, and it actually ended up being real good because I had to ask the same questions over to him again, and he pretty much just answered them exactly the same. So he was really cool with it.
He might have even had slightly more refined answers too, you know. Like, and the good thing is, I think after you've done that, it's like that's as bad as it can get.
Yes.
Unless it was like a 2-hour interview with Steve, then he'd probably want to kill you. But that's as bad as it can get. Like doing it with Steve at Weinberger, who everyone knows Steve. He's an intimidating looking dude. He's like taller than you think as well, bald, and he just tells it how it is. So you just don't want to mess that one up. And you did, but fortunately, you know, he obviously respects you, and things worked out well, bro. But yeah, I just want to say shout out for doing what you're doing with your channel. You reached out to me and I said, you know, why not come on? So it's very cool to have you on. But awesome. Zaid, my man, IFB Pro, and dude, pretty much almost known for the guy that smokes weed as well on Beatty Fowles Fit Nation podcast. Because you're a big proponent of that obviously as well, but we can discuss that in another podcast, whatever. But man, what's been happening with you? When's the pro debut? When's all that happening? And while we talk about you, we'll bring up some photos as well.
Yeah, honestly, there's no pro debut set up in my mind yet. I have to improve a lot. If I compete right now in the pro league, I'll be literally last place. I'm very undersized. I have to put on at least 25 pounds to be competitive. And that's what I intend to do. This is my first real off season for the people who don't know. I never had an off season before. I've been competing for 11 years consistently without stopping until I got my pro card. And now that I have it, I'm taking a hibernation season for a few years. Do basically what Carlos did. You know, we'll go in. This is the beginning of season, February 1st. And on the right is this Monday, about 40 pounds difference.
It's a quick quality size, my man.
We're pushing things in the right direction, you know, and just keeping an eye on the body composition. That's the most important part, and muscle will come, you know. Just like I applied myself into prep, I can apply myself to off season, and that's what we're gonna do. Yeah, no shows picked out yet. Just I gotta get big first, and then do that, you know.
You have a wheel sorted, man. Like those calves. Mm-hmm. I'm just actually looking at that now. I noticed your calves were that big.
They're ridiculous.
Dude, it's the only body part that doesn't count on stage.
It's overlooked nowadays. Yeah, it sucks that it's overlooked.
It's almost a disadvantage if you're trying to make weight, like in a weight class, because they would have to weigh. Because you look at your calves, man. Like, they're not going to weigh near as much as your quads, but like, look at the size comparison. Your quads are huge, and then you've still got massive calves. So.
Dude, you know what's was so funny? My calves actually hurt me or hurt my physique for the longest times because I don't have big arms genetically. I had to force a lot of growth into them to have them this size, and they're still pretty small for my physique. Honestly, I need a lot more arms. But the bigger the calves you have, the smaller your arms look. Like, look in this shot. The calf looks way bigger than the arm. So, you know, I had to fix that. Yeah. So I don't even train them, to be honest, you know. So
you wear shorts all the time,
just
don't you?
Yeah,
smart.
It's cool to have, but it's not cool to see that judges don't care for it on stage, you know.
Yeah.
Like I always used to get beat by guys, dude, who have literally sticks, not even anything. So that's when I figured, okay. And they just don't care for it, I guess. So now
it definitely
it's just the upper body.
Yeah. It definitely makes it less motivating to train them.
Guys like us really look at them and be like, oh man, like that's what they say. Oh wait, we got calves. Like we perk our ears up when we see like a guy with calves, like you or Quinton. Like, damn, look at his fucking calves. But like, I don't know why it's like kind of ignored. So it's very weird. I don't know.
Yeah,
I suppose as well, like
where the judges it's the first thing they see from the bottom up, right? That's the first thing you see on somebody. Yeah, at least I.
Yeah, it's weird because like the judges, I suppose it depends on the show as well. I've seen shows where at the Australian Pro, or the Arnold Australia back in the day, they had where the judges sat, it was actually like really quite low. So they're really looking up. So you might not even see you're probably not seeing the competitor's feet or anything like that. So you're probably only seeing a portion of the calf. So you might not even be seeing the full, you might be seeing from just halfway up the shin or something like that. So yeah, I don't know. I can't really remember. I'm trying to imagine because I was sitting down there as well. So I was in the front row, but I think the judges were 2 rows behind or something. So my view was really like looking up. But yeah, I can't really. And it probably does take the focus off the calves if you are sort of like looking up at those guys and you're so close, because you're not really going to be going upper body, quads, and then focusing down on the calves just by nature. So, but anyway, let's get on to the New York Pro, because it's a ridiculous competitor list. And Carlos, you were obviously one of those potential names in there going back months ago, and the lineup is still ridiculously stacked. So
stacked.
That's great.
Anyone, good job. Anyone in the show would have their work cut out for them. And also shout out to Steve Weinberger as well, who promotes this show. And the big thing is as well, Uprising have supported this big time as well, and they've added the extra prize money too. So it's up to $30,000.
No way, just heard that.
Yeah.
Increased
prize money first.
And Steve made sure I mentioned $5,000 gold ring with that as well.
I was about to say that. I was about to say, because I think you mentioned that in your interview or another one. Yeah. So it's essentially $35,000 worth in cash and prizes, which compare that to a few years back where it was the ring and 10 grand.
Yeah.
It's a big difference,
crazy, brother.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So Carlos, perfect time for you to be getting into the pro league. So you've just nailed the time.
Yeah, we're into a new era, man. We're into a new era now. It's getting wild.
Yeah.
You need one of those rings, Carlos. You definitely need one of those.
I know, man. That's definitely a goal of mine, to get one of those bad boys. I'm here now, man. I love this. I've been seeing it. I've been watching this competition ever since I started bodybuilding. Back when I was 20, when I started, I was 22. So yeah, man. Only reason I missed the New York Pro is because when it was in Florida, that COVID year. It's the only time I ever missed it in the past few years I've been going. But yeah, this is definitely one of the stacked lineups, man. And I've seen the lineup when it was Dexter, Rowley, competing, man, and it was that was a stacked lineup. And this right here, and and Nathan was there. I've seen all of them, man. And out of all of them that I've been to, like, honestly, this is probably one of the ones I'm most excited for. The storylines, the age of the guys in here, a bunch of young guys that's going to be coming in and doing some damage. You have Nick obviously trying to come back and really solidify like his stamp as like he's the man, he's the top dog coming in for the Olympia this year. I mean, you have Stu, who's great, young guy, made damage last year, came in second to Tomio trying to repeat. Quinton, crazy super potential, man. I don't want to take over, but dude, it's amazing. I love this show right here, and I'm glad to see that it's getting back to the prestige that it once was, because for a couple of years people were saying, oh man, it's not as hype as it used to be. Oh well, Texas Pro has like Andrew and it has Hunter, and it's kind of getting that's the number 3 show behind the Arnold and the Olympia. But I'm telling you, man, the New York Pro will always be that top tier show behind the Arnold and Olympia, and I'm happy to see it this year. Sorry, I just had to say that.
No, man, I love it. I love it. And also as well, before I forget, I just want to tick everything off as well. There is a live stream for this contest. And Matt, I don't know if you're doing a live watch along as well. I'm doing one here on Desktop Bodybuilding too, but I encourage you guys to follow along with all that. So even if you do, I encourage everyone to purchase the live stream, because I think it's only $20 if you get it early. Maybe I don't know if it's $25 later. Is that right,
I think it went up. I think it's like the 34 or something now.
Okay. Still, it is the show. It is essentially outside of the Olympia, you could say potentially it's the show of the year.
100%.
Yeah.
Which is crazy to say. So it's essentially this and the Arnold, I think, are pretty somewhat similar, and this is a bigger lineup. So it
is funny they forgot Nick Walker's. Oh, it says no, it's not Nicholas Walker. Oh, Nevada. Okay, because I saw someone like, "Where's Nick's name on the thing?" And I'm like, "Okay, this is actually there." Okay.
They always added in late, so I think the initial list had no Nick Walker on there. Oh, okay. I find it funny how there's Nicholas Walker on there, because I've never seen Nicholas on a competitor's list. No. But for sure.
That was a good point by Carlos, that this is a new school lineup. This isn't, you got no OGs in this lineup. other than maybe Justin Rodriguez, he's been around longer than a lot of the guys, but it's a new school lineup for sure.
Yeah, Milan Sedek. It seems like the earlier shows are sort of at new school, and the exciting thing is that there's so many. These shows now are really strong because the last few years, I don't want to say they're weak because there are guys in that top 5 that were very, very good bodybuilders, phenomenal bodybuilders.
No, they're great.
The level of this lineup compared to some of the years past is dramatically better. I don't think anyone, has to make any arguments about that. And we haven't even mentioned guys like Josef Keftin, Vetten, Emir Marajic.
Yeah.
We've got Justin Rodriguez, Milan Sedek, Christian Wolski, who low-key looks really, really good, and Angel Calderon.
Brother. Yeah, he looks great. I ran into him today, and Christian looks good, man. So dude, this is active. I'm excited for this.
Yeah. It's gonna be
super stacked. Yeah.
I'm gonna feel super bad when you get
is this really good bodybuilder.
Yeah. If we do a top 10 prediction, I'm gonna do my top 10. But I always feel so bad. Whoever I'm putting in like 8th, 9th, and 10th, they're probably not gonna like the prediction. Just straight up.
Yeah.
No matter what
I can't even do a top. That's too hard. Maybe top 5, top 6 is the most I'll go if I do a prediction.
Man, I'm Australian, so I'm sort of weird in the head. So I'll sort of like want to see who's super sensitive just by predicting them in 8th and then getting a message, I'll show you, motherfucker. It's like, oh, okay. It's like that. But anyway, let's discuss some of these names one by one. So let's go to Nick Walker, who obviously did that Pittsburgh Pro guest posing. That's where, I've got to be honest, there's more excitement from the New York Pro, even more than there would be had there not been that guest posing, because it was close between Martin and Nick. Now you can say, obviously, it's a guest posing. Should we put any weight into this whatsoever? But it is their physiques that they're going to be standing on stage with in 1 week's time. So it's still, you have to at least, it comes into consideration. But firstly, I'll go to you first, Matt. What do you think about Nick Walker from a guest posing? Are we putting too much emphasis on that? And do you think he'll come out on top in New York?
Yeah, I think he had a bunch of meals in him, sitting backstage for the most part, drinking water, everything. So he didn't cut any meals out for this. So I think the waist was a lot of comments on the waist for sure. But I just think he has way too much density and thickness. The conditioning is going to be there. He's going to dry out even more over this week. Well, in a couple of days here. So I think I still have Nick in first, but my prediction was to have Quinton in second. But man, after seeing Martin and his pictures today, his video today, I don't know. It's gonna be tight. But yeah, I think Nick Walker just has done enough to try to win this show. The waist, he admitted it when he came on our show. He said, "Yeah, my genetics, I have a big waist. That's what it is. I gotta deal with it. I gotta work with it." So he brought up his shoulders. You can see there, he gets the really wide delts, and it accentuates his waistline, and he's got to work with it. There's nothing to hide about Nick Walker having a little bit of a larger waist compared to the other athletes that are going to be on that stage.
Carlos, what do you think?
50 pounds of muscle helps it. He has at least 40 pounds or 50 pounds.
That's another thing.
These other competitors, so I think he's right there.
Maybe
not 50, but it looks like it.
Nathan Diasha actually spoke a bit about it on the last episode of Bodybuilding University, which has just recently gone up. And he was very complimentary of Nick, but he sort of had a pretty good perspective on it. He said, before I was thinking I'm 80 or 90% sure Nick's going to win. And now I'm more like, 40% sure Nick wins and 30%, Tomio, 30% sort of, he's given it more a percentage where that's probably more realistic, because a lot of fans of bodybuilding like, Nick's going to win, he's going to wipe it. And then other fans are saying, you wait and see, Nick's going to lose. It's like, you can't be so absolute, seriously. Like, we can make these predictions for fun and stuff, but, Nick could have, I don't know, some sort of stomach bug. He could have an injury. He could have just something where his stomach just doesn't agree with some food and he holds a ton of fluid. He could have, there's so many things that can go wrong in bodybuilding. It's different to like basketball, where if you've got an injury, you've got an injury. And unless you're getting sick, like physically ill from just eating something random, their bodies aren't at that sort of stage where it's like on the brink of, like we're pushing, Yeah.
If you go to the Gilco Productions page, we can look at his,
yes, good idea.
Yes, clothing. Yeah. because he did let it hang out a little bit. And we backtracked to the video on that, and we're talking about, man, you just got to hold it in. I mean, Hunter Labrada is 300 pounds, and he's holding that waist in tight. I'm sure if you let it go, let it go, but he's holding it tight because you got to be professional up on that stage. And I think Nick just let it slip, and that's what when you want it to slip, everyone's going to catch it, and then he went off on it, and that's kind of what happened there. Like you'll see right here, he just let it go.
Yeah. And the thing is, Nick's so big that walking, like, even when I was like 225 pounds, which is the heaviest I've ever been in my life, you feel bigger, you sort of go, oh, like that. And he walked out, it's a guest posing. He knows he's not being judged like that. But he, like you said, Matt, he needed to be more aware just walking out on stage, because I know he could have held it in better. That's the thing. It was probably more out of laziness than, he's got a real bad gut issue or something like that. I'm sure it'll be probably just as tight as always once he steps on stage in New York.
Yeah.
But Carlos, what did you think of this? Are you worried? Are you concerned? Do you think it's maybe just that he's holding a bit of fluid, and then once that comes out and he carbs up, he'll be fine?
Yeah, I think he'll be fine. I mean, I've never seen Nick post a 10 p.m. at night photo update on Instagram at all. Like, guys, this is me with 2 gallons of water and 7 meals in. I mean, it's probably a reason for, unless he has it, but it's probably a reason for that. Like he probably, at the end of the night, he's holding water, stomach's a bit distended from the food, the water. I mean, like, it just happens. And if I know Nick, like, as we all, know how militant he is, he didn't change a damn thing for this guest posing. He kept rolling like it was another day. So, I mean, was he, hung in the court of public opinion about the, letting it slip up a little bit? Yeah. And should he have held it tight because, hey, these people are freaking vultures out here, man? And, like, in the comments, and they'll pick them up, they'll pick them apart. And that happens to everybody. I don't even if it was anybody else on that stage, they would have picked him apart. It's just so that he's highly regarded, as the top level bodybuilder. And, I mean, they're going to be scrutinized under a very, very, tough eye by, I mean, the people who watch the show. So, but I don't think there's any problem. I think he'll come in, as dry and as hard and as conditioned, and that midsection will be controlled. But I did love seeing Martin. I think he's fucking super round. It's ridiculous the improvements he made, where he just, man, like, his shape and his condition. I think that he's gonna really, solidify himself as, like, he's coming up to be a threat to these guys. Because he's balanced and he has the shape and he has the condition, and he's really getting that full roundness to his chest and his delts and his arms. Will Nick, outmass him 100%. He's the mutant for a reason, but yeah, I think it's going to be a really good show. I like to see, what these guys bring on the final day, because, like you said, pictures are pictures, guest posings are guest posings, but we got to wait until Saturday.
Yeah. And with Martin, so we'll get onto him as well, because that obviously was the quote unquote battle at Pittsburgh, because Martin did look phenomenal. When you can see the conditioning, I think there was no doubt that he was in better condition on stage there at Pittsburgh than Nick. Like, the quads are ridiculous. He's got little details that I think Nick didn't have at that guest posing. Now, will Nick have that? Nick's got that more gnarly, granity sort of look. But Martin's got some really clean lines. Like, the way the quads look, I think there's some aspects of Martin's physique that highlight perhaps the weaknesses in Nick's physique, because Martin's got the very thin waist and that front double bicep, it comes in really narrow, or not thin waist, just narrow waist. And then he's got the really rounded quads, and that's Nick's two weaknesses. And I think Martin matches well enough from the other angles to be able to beat Nick. And that sounds crazy, but I think, like you said, Carlos, I think Martin is one of those guys that's going to establish himself right up there. Now, will they give it to Martin over Nick? I just have a feeling that maybe after this show, it will be the narrative that's really close. 60% of people have Martin winning after prejudging, and then Nick wins, and then people online are saying it's bullshit, it's rigged. I can just see that sort of thing happening with this show, because people want to see Nick fall because he's a favorite. Let's face it, and there's been this narrative. So people want to see Nick fall. So if it's 50-50, people will be saying Martin.
Yeah. If Nick loses and gets like second or third, that's huge news. And that's going to maybe kill or hurt his momentum going in, well, trying to get to the limit because he still has to qualify at another show then. So that would be a huge upset if Nick comes in second or third. But then we got to see what Quinton looks like next to Martin. You know, Quinton's going to tower over these guys. He's 6'1", right? These guys are all 5'6", 5'7". So he's like the Samson Dauda in the lineup. And, you know, Samson does good against these guys. He's beaten a lot of these guys. So Quinton's bringing that similar physique. He's bringing the striated glutes. He's bringing in the sharp conditioning. He's dry. We can't discount what Quinton might do on this lineup.
Yeah,
Absolutely, man. Absolutely.
That's true.
No,
I feel like Nick gets it a little worse than others, honestly, because the guy he's never getting a break. People always doubt him. He set the record straight how many times people doubt him and he would come in and win. I feel like this is Nick's show to lose. And they're even at 90%, I feel like he's still going to be winning it. There's so much density between first place and the second, third, fourth, fifth, all that. I feel like there's no chance, Nick is losing this. And I don't say that because I've been talking to him or anything like that. I truly see like him in a different league in the second, third, fourth, just fighting for those other spots. He's so damn big. People don't understand how thick this guy is. You put them next to each other, you will see the size difference. We know he's going to be peeled. We know he works with Matt. He's going to be peaked just fine. There's a reason why he didn't look his best a week out, because he's preparing for that day. So if somebody understands that process, you wouldn't diss him or count him out whatsoever. If anything, this is going to make him stay on his abs 140% extra. This guy, you can't outpose him, and you can't outmuscle him, and you're not out conditioning him. I'm telling you, this guy is gonna walk away with the second ring.
I guess you got to pick it apart pose for pose. That's the only way you can do this. Is like, what poses does Martin beat Nick in?
Probably the front lat spread. Front lat spread. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, honestly,
ab and thigh. Come on.
Avatar.
Yeah. Yes.
Yes, that's true. True.
What about the front of the bicep?
No, if Nick crunches down on his abs, no.
Okay.
It's so funny because they are so different. They are so dramatically different. And when I go pose by pose, honestly, like people, I did see something where someone said, "Oh, Nick dominates from the back." Now, the rear lat spread, you can say he wins, but Martin has a very good back. And those details, it's not just the back we're looking at. We're looking at the back. We're looking at the legs, all that stuff on
adductors.
Martin. Yeah, adductors, everything. And everything is on Martin is very clean. Everything on Nick is very rugged. Everything on Nick is a bit bigger. So you've got to decide what you want. You know, if Martin brings slightly better conditioning and cleaner lines, and Nick just doesn't quite nail it, well, I think he will be dramatically better at guest posing. But if he just doesn't quite nail it, I mentioned on my other podcast, Nick's a guy, if he nails it on the money, he can win any show. No doubt whatsoever. But if he misses by a bit, he's like Branch Warren, where Branch missed by a little bit, I think in a couple of shows, which the only time he ever missed it, he looked dramatically worse. Everyone's like, Branch is done. And then he came back and won Arnold's. So...
Well, also we can say, is Martin a third place finisher at the Olympia? Do you see him in that spot right now? I don't see him in the top 3 right now in the O.
No,
so you can't beat a guy who's top 3 in the O. You know what I mean? That's very overreach for him. I really like Martin. I don't want to seem like I'm sorry.
No, I just want to say, because we're skipping over Tomio. Let's give respect to him.
Yeah, exactly.
I was about to say, I was waiting to get in there.
3. Tonio placed what, 7th or 8th last year?
8th, yeah.
Okay, 8th. No joke.
So is Martin the top 8, top 7 competitor? Can he knock off Tonio? Let's give I possibly, right? But let's give a little bit of respect to him. I know we are, but let's not put the cart before the horse, and let's see, instead of considering him, is he a top 3? Let's just say, is he top 8 right now? Who knows? Does he beat Tonio? You know what I mean? Does he beat Tonio, who beat a really good Vito?
Antonio beat Martin before.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Those are they're two very different.
Totally right. We forgot about
that.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was the next guy I was going to bring up because realistically, he should be a top 2 favorite guy in this show. Being, like you said,
Yes.
Carlos, being 8th in the Olympia, he's considerably heavier. He's going to be better than he was at the Olympia. So a physique better than 8th at the Olympia, where does that bring him? How close can that bring him to like a Nick Walker? Is the Olympia now? Is there more guys that would have been better than Nick Walker when Nick Walker placed 3rd? But is Nick Walker? There's so many questions around that and how much of a varying degree it is. But Tonio, man, he's got it. And I saw actually a video. I'm going to try to find it on Dave Palumbo put up. And it was a guest posing that he was doing a few weeks back. And just the level of density and muscularity is crazy.
Yeah.
Can any of you guys see Tonio possibly winning this show?
Not me.
I don't know.
And I respect all of these guys. I just want to say that I'm not trying to be negative in any shape or form, but I'm just trying to say my opinion. And I still respect all these guys, especially Martin, Tonio, all these dudes, you know. But unfortunately, with Nick being in the lineup, it's going to be very hard for him, you know, in my opinion. We'll see.
Yeah.
That's the logical. Zaid, you're only saying like the logical thing, you know, like that's what everyone should be saying. Everyone should be predicting Nick based off record. It's just, I would be predicting Nick if it wasn't that guest posing, and also the level. I speak to Martin. I know the level of confidence Martin has in himself, and I think it's well placed. You know, he was excited, I think, for that guest posing. He got up there. I think he was pretty happy with how he looked. He told me he didn't carb up. And he looked pretty full considering he didn't carb up. He's like, well, I don't know if he said we did nothing, but he said he didn't carb up at least anyway. He's like, that's not full. And I'm like,
I just want to remind everyone that Martin is rebounding from the show that he did. So he has a slight advantage. You know what I mean? When you're after a show for the next 4 weeks, man, whatever you eat or drink, you're going to look pretty fucking good for the next month. Whatever you do, especially with his metabolism, he has.
How long after was Pittsburgh? Was it 2 weeks or 3? 3 from New York, from
Detroit.
Yeah,
about a month.
Yeah, because that's what Martin said. He said he was filling up a bit more as well, and then trying to come in harder. So it's like you said, Zaid. Once you've had that bit of a rebound effect, and then coming back down and tightening it up. That's a good way to look really good too. So that does give advantage definitely to Martin, for sure. Yes. But like we mentioned with Tonio, like he's a formidable competitor, and that top 3 there, you go, okay, well that's probably the top 3. But then you look at guys like Beef Stew, and you see the updates from him, who was second to Tonio last year and looked phenomenal, and he definitely looks better. So you got Beef Stew, you got Angel Calderon. People talking about Tim Budesheim. I think it's going to be very tough for Tim considering the lineup that's been pulled here. But there are so many names that we're almost disrespecting. And honestly, it's such a danger show for so many guys that could drop down to 7th or 8th. It's anyone, you know. Tough. But outside of Nick, I don't think Nick Walker's dropping down to 7th or 8th, don't get me wrong. But there's or Martin, or maybe, it's so tough. They're all so close. But Angel Calderon, he's a top guy. He's a top 212 Olympia competitor. And we're not even talking about it. And we've seen 212 guys do so well. So let's get on to a few more of these other guys. So we're sort of talking about, Quinton. We have to talk about Quinton because Quinton is looking, he's looking, some people are saying,
I'm concerned.
Flat.
Yes.
Are you worried?
I'm concerned that they're bringing him down too much, and he's a big guy. He's a tall man, and you got to fill that frame up, and he's really flat. Like he posted, where is it? It was like red trunks or something. Right there. That's the flat physique right there, which is part of the process. But man, he lost a lot of fullness, a lot. He's lost his vascularity. So he's going to be sharp. He's sharp for sure. But to fill up and be compared to Nick Walker, who's holding about, I think Quinton's going to be around 260, and Nick said he's going to be around 260. So they're the same weight, but he's taller, so pound per pound, Nick is bigger. And I'm just a little worried he's a little flat for this stage of the game. But hey, that's part of the process. Matt knows what he's doing. It's Matt Jensen. He knows what he's doing.
Yeah. Carlos, what do you think about these updates from Quinton?
Man,
they are flat.
Yeah, they are. I saw that pop up on my timeline a couple of days ago, and I the first thing I look at is like I'm like, man, he's definitely flat. He's not. I wouldn't say he's like stringy or anything. He didn't push it that far, but he's definitely to put a point where I'm like, man, like to battle against that density and thickness of Nick, man, you're gonna have to bring some. He's got to be blasting full in like condition, man. Like it's tough. It's tough because I think people always say like they're bringing him up and they're comparing him to Samson, but I'm like, man, Samson's like a full round dude, man, and obviously he has age on him, but man, it's going to be some time before we see that from Quinton, and he's improving, he is, but for him to be that guy that's just starting to that we all know he can be, and that world beater, he's going to have that crazy roundness and fullness to every body part. But I think he's doing the right thing right now. He's bringing in a conditioning. And I mean, you can always add size. Size is going to be good. I know he can add the size, and that's going to just take time. But I think he's doing the right thing. But will he be able to knock off guys like Martin or Nick? Maybe I don't know. Like I just don't know. I have to see what he brings this Saturday. But I think he's going to bring one of his best physiques. Yes.
It's crazy looking at his calves compared to his quads, like. It's the most insane looking comparison.
He's got crazy calves.
Yeah. It makes it hard for me to be able to tell if he's got big legs or not. You know what I mean? In terms of the thigh, because there is, when I look here, there is a bit of it seems like the thighs overall have flattened out a little bit. He's got I mentioned on another podcast, he's got the pop off the quad, but just in terms of filling this all out for such a big frame. And we do have to remember as well, Quinton's probably never going to look as impressive or as big on his own because he's like 6'1" or whatever height he is. So when he does fill out, I think sometimes these taller guys, there's another guy from Australia right now, Sam Pearce, who's posting photos. And I think a lot of the taller guys, a lot of the taller guys don't post photos like open, just fully out like that when they're flat, because it makes them appear so much smaller. Because Sam, he's put up some photos. I'm like, oh, he's a fair bit smaller. But every time I've seen him in prep photos, I'm like, he's going to really struggle. And then I've seen him on stage against like the top pros in the world. And I'm like, oh, he's not that far off. So we could see something like that from Quinton. Yeah. I don't think it's going to be enough to like win a show like this. But if this is filled out, if you could add, I don't know if you can add 8 to 10 pounds of fullness to this. And I think this is going to be the most shredded Quinton we've seen before. Because when you start to see random stuff like this line through the
chest striations.
And this outer quad
side
too,
quad.
Like,
Yep.
So it's going to be the hardest Quinton. I think it's going to be the best Quinton, but is it going to be the Quinton that everyone's hoping in terms of big enough to battle Quinton? I just maybe don't know if we're there yet, but I would be very, very happy if we see something that sort of surprises us, because this conditioning on the glutes, and you can see how dug out it is in the shadowed area there on the hamstring. That's conditioning. This dude is going to be, I've never seen that on anything like that on Quinton. So I think we're going to see
how much Martin weighs? Do you know his weight?
Oh, I'm trying to remember. He has told me before. I know he's been around that maybe that 240 mark or so. So he's not a small guy. I don't know if he's in the low 240s. I might be confusing that with someone else, but it rings a bell. So not a small guy. But who else we got in this lineup? We'll talk about Angel.
Yeah.
Or Stu. We'll go to Stu.
Yeah, Stu. We can do beef.
Stu. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, super impressed with Stu. I love how he's grown his hair back too. I think he's just not him when he doesn't have his hair. So I'm very, very glad. And these other physique updates that everyone is freaking out about. Zaid, you obviously do the podcast with Stu all the time. Man, how's it been seeing this sort of evolution of Stu during his prep? Because for me, I was just a little concerned about the quads. And then Beatty said, I mentioned it to Stu, blah, blah. And it seems like the way they come off the hip now, it's like, the way he poses them and how thick they look now, it actually doesn't seem to be an issue. But he was sort of worried about it as well. But it seems like during prep, Stu seems to just evolve.
I think he's going to shock people. I think he's one of the dark horses in this show, and people are not talking about him as much because of the other competitors in the lineup. I have him in my top 5. He's going to be up there with Martin, Tomio, and Quinton. in the top 5, in my opinion. I think he's going to beat Angel. I think he's going to beat Tim. I think he's going to beat a lot of the guys coming from Europe,
Justin.
you know? Yeah, Justin, definitely. And I have him as a 5th place, you know, in my top 5.
Yeah, me too.
And he's looking inside out shredded. And props to him because he did
Ridiculous.
According to him, he did this prep a lot healthier with less PEDs than last year, which is something he wanted to do. And it looked amazing. And I think he added a few pounds in the process. So he's bigger than last year and more shredded. So if somebody slips, he's going to be right there to beat him. So whoever that is, it could be Martin, it could be Tomio, it could be Quinton, it could be anybody. He's going to be on. We know Nick. That. No, except Nick. It's not being Nick. Definitely not. So in my opinion, you know, Nick is a different animal, dude.
He's so much bigger. He's got so much size.
Place finisher.
Yeah.
But in my opinion, but he's going to be doing really good in the first call up. And he's going to be upsetting a lot of people.
Yeah, I think so too. Carlos, what do you think about how, I suppose, Stu's changed throughout the prep?
Man, Stu looks amazing, and he just, man, like the prep, he just changed so fast. Like, I was watching the podcast, and like each time he was on, it was like his face and it would get more sunken in, and it was just crazy. But
aggressively getting angrier.
Yeah, that too. It's a little bit more snappier. You know, with Zay taking the brunt of it, brother. I'm sorry. But you know, seeing him last year versus Tomio, he was I'm trying to look at the photo here. But yeah, seeing him last year versus Tomio, he man, it kind of felt like, if I'm recalling correctly, he had a slight, like a little bit of off condition, maybe a slight little bit of film on him. But looking at him this year, man, I don't know, Zayd, if it's, you know, a testament to him like using less PEDs and less systemic inflammation for his whole body, but he looks healthier. His conditioning looks drier. It just looks like a very fresh physique. And I'm excited to see him, you know, on the stage against these guys, because man, when he gets good shape, and when he pulls up, let's say in that front double, you know, he has a good tapered waist. His back is super crisp, detailed. You know, side poses. I think he's really good. It's just, it comes down to, will he have enough muscle to hang with some of these guys, like the Martin and like the you know, like the Tomio, and then will he have, you know, is Quinton going to knock him off on shape? You know, who's, you know, he's big and he's also very shapely. I think it comes down to that, but I'm definitely having him in my top 5, right there, you know, battling out with the guys, what the top guys we're talking about.
Do we know how much beef is weighing?
I do not know that. Do you know, Zayd?
Last time I checked, he told me it was 251, 252.
Okay. That's good.
And remember, he's already in condition, so he's going up in weight. He's not going down. You know,
that's the thing. He's looking bigger each day, pretty much. So, and I'm sure carving up as well will add to that. So, we've got Angel.
I do know that he got ready early this year, just for the purpose to eat up into the show. You know.
Yeah, and that's why he's looking so much more impressive too, and it's work to treat. And I think when bodybuilders do that, they're almost lowering the expectation as they get sort of closer, and then they like start to fill up and it's like, oh yeah, this is what I'm going to look like. I was actually thinking, Carlos, like something like that for you. I was wondering if that would be good, but then also staying in condition for longer is such a stress on your body as well. So maybe the staying in condition might be a harder thing on your body, you know?
That's something I talked about with my coach, just because of the colitis and not having to push so hard late into the prep. If we just do a longer prep, and because we're taking a hint from like natural guys who prep for 24, you know what I mean? Maybe
some prep for 6 months,
longer,
6 weeks.
Yes, for 6 months. Yeah, so we were thinking, longer prep. That way we can implement more like, pulling back, feeding up a little bit, then pushing again. Because I can't just crash all the way down to a prep, tanking calories, increasing cardio. It doesn't work with my body and with my, the UC and stuff. So that's something that we've learned. So taking a hint from Stu and maybe not getting in shape within like 8 weeks because he got in shape super fast. But, just taking that time to get in shape early, and then giving myself at least 6, weeks to, kind of ride it in a little bit easier will be great. So I think what Stu did was a really good change from last year.
We have a thing as bodybuilders that we almost can't pull back during a prep. But like you said, if you do a long prep, whether it's like 22 weeks or something like that, you can push and do almost like your mini version of a prep down for 8 to 10 weeks. And then you can always take a 2-week break there. You know what I mean? Where I'm not saying take a break and go off all gear or anything like that, but where the 2 weeks you can pull back. Like you can pull back on your training where you're still training, but you just plateau for a bit, where your physique maybe plateaus a bit, you rest, you probably get a bit healthier, and then you're okay, last 10 weeks now we can push down, and then you're already in really good shape. You maybe increase your calories a tiny bit for a few weeks, and it gives you that rest. And I've done that in preps, man. Like I do short preps as it is, but I know my central nervous system can only take so much. So like I get a certain part into the prep, like it's normally about halfway or a little bit before halfway, and I'll take like half a week off training. Or I'll split it up and do half a week of training, 4 weeks into a prep, then another 4 weeks, I'll take the other half week off training. And it just keeps me fresh, bro. And I just look better for sure.
Yeah. I think that's a ticket for me. Because, and just to segue off things, like when I had to pull out of New York last year because I had that flare up, what we did was going into Texas is that I was like beat down calories, low calories, high carbs, just, everything thrown at me. But when we did go into New York, we pulled back, and seeing that we pulled back, lowered cardio, added more food, my body just freshened up, and I got way better. But then towards the end, going into Texas, we started pushing really, really hard again, and then my body was like, "Nah, bro, we're not having this," and it fought back again. So that just told me, like the things we're just discussing is like, and guys out there who are listening as we do this little segue is, like looking at your body, learning it is very important. Coaches are great, but learning your own process, your own body is great. And that's what I saw personally for me is the same thing that we're discussing here. Get like Stu did, get ready. If you can get ready early, doesn't matter how long it takes, you do little diet breaks in between deloads, and then you can keep pushing. But yeah, man, like that, I think Stu did a great job here, and I'm taking notes from all these people. I'm learning.
Yeah.
Implementing
so
all of it.
Come back next year. Come back better. But yeah, man. Who are we looking at next? Angel.
Angel, yeah.
Yeah. What's the other guy?
He could be a dark horse.
It escapes me. The other
Tim
gentleman
Buddha
made a really big impact. He had the really crazy striated shoulders. Forgot his name.
Oh, Joseph Vetton.
Yes, he also looks crazy too. So I definitely would like to discuss him after we talk about
absolutely,
Angel.
man. Absolutely. So we'll discuss Angel first, and Angel. This is from a week out guest posing. This is like the most high definition photo I've ever seen on Instagram. For some reason, it's super crisp. Yeah. But I don't know how they're uploading in such quality, but he looks really, really damn good. And one thing with his physique is the legs sometimes flatten out a little bit during prep. That's he's obviously a massive, massive dude, but the chest here even seems, I don't know, all of it just seems very, 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 very filled out. So if he can bring this sort of look to the stage and have full legs that he had in 212, considering he's already a guy that's placed top 2 in 212, Carlos, do you think we're overlooking this guy? Or do you think it's just the quality of the lineup?
It's the quality of the lineup, man. Like Angel, he's won an open show before. He's been top 2 in their 212 Olympia, and he is just the dude.
Top 3, I think,
man.
Not top 2. Top 2.
Wasn't he play second?
Wasn't he not top 2? Wasn't he top 2?
I think it was Keon, Sean, and him.
No, before that, before Keon.
An open show, you mean?
Before that,
212 Olympia.
2.
Oh.
2020.
Yeah, he was top 2.
Sure
Yeah. I think he was he second?
I think, Zaid, you're thinking of the year after.
Yeah.
I think he was third, because I think he placed third last year and then second the year before.
Third last year, but I think 2022 he placed top 3. I don't know. The guys
he's top 2 or 3.
Yeah. Sorry. He's phenomenal. I was just being
now we're talking semantics now, but he's good. He's great. But he's a freaking beast, man. Like I remember when he started rising on the scene and you started seeing photos of him super shredded. His legs were a little a little straight up and down, but man, he was conditioned, and he's big, man. Like he is big, short, but big. So I just think that the guys would like just these guys got muscle too, and these guys are conditioned too, and they got shape.
Yeah, and they
too.
have
So it's
a
kind
little
of
bit
like
prettier shape.
they
They have
just
prettier shape than Andrew.
yes.
Yeah.
So it's just hard. It's just really hard. If you
He's
didn't have
so
these
dense.
yeah, if you didn't have these guys like maybe like like that we were talking about up there, he could probably
Yeah.
placing it up a little bit higher. But yeah, man, he's got some gatekeepers that are going to keep him from making that top five, I think, in my opinion. But there's
Yeah.
no knock on him because look at that. That looks crazy. Look at the hamstring hanging. Look at the the conditioning. I mean, this is
Yeah.
what like a guest posing he was doing. Like,
Yeah, week out.
this is a week out. Yeah, it looks amazing, and it's not even the best quality of the video. So he looks great, man. I think I think it's just hard, man. Like I said, you got some gatekeepers there, man, that are just it's gonna make it hard for him,
Yeah.
brother. It's gonna make it hard for him. What do you think about that, Matt?
Yeah, I agree with your assessment. I think he's a little bit top heavy. The legs, if they do come in full for this show, he can be right in that maybe sixth, seventh place cusp, on the cusp of trying to crack that top five. But you got guys like Beef Stew and Quinton and Tomio, Martin. It just fills up that first to fifth, and then Calderon is just like you said. These guys are they got prettier physiques and the shape on them. So it's going to be tough for him to crack that top five.
And
agree,
it's
totally
such a
agree.
show where you could throw so many names into a hat and just discuss it. Zay, do you think he'll crack into the top five or have a chance of doing it? Because obviously there's a chance as guys that miss.
Of course, he has a chance. Absolutely.
someone slips
He's
up,
just like what
someone
I said
slips
about
up.
Stu. If somebody slips up, he's gonna be right there, and he is hard as nails, man. In person, like I don't think these pictures do him justice. I think in person it's way on another level of dryness.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
if somebody is
What-
not dry, this guy is gonna get him.
What about Tim Budashine? He's a big guy. He's been talked about a little bit going on this show. The waistline may be a little bit of an issue, but he's going to be hard and grainy and dry
Yeah.
and big. So can he surpass Calderon and be in that sixth position? Maybe take out Beef Stew or like, I don't know. I see more of his photos. I haven't really seen great photos of him, but he could be in the mix.
He always looks phenomenal, and I always feel
Yeah.
bad because he just pulls lineups where guys are just slightly better than him. Like it'll just be a
Yeah.
structural thing, like from the the width of the waist to the width of the lats. It's just not quite enough, and then you go, oh, that's why this guy beats him. But he's right there,
Mhm.
so I feel bad for him in that regard because he's a really, really good bodybuilder. I think it's just for him about just trying to improve those areas to make himself more, I suppose, more aesthetic in some certain poses. But he's got some killer shots, like you said, man.
Yeah.
And he's one of those guys
Yeah.
that if I was him, I would feel frustrated as a pro. I'd be like, I'm bringing the conditioning, I'm bringing a good amount of muscle. What more have I got to do? And he doesn't have bad abs, he doesn't have bad shape. Well, it's just, I mean,
Yep.
Carlos, do you have Zaid? Do you have any ideas on?
I
what Tim could
personally
do?
like Tim's physique. Tim is one of the top guys in Europe.
I love Tim.
He's one of your
look up
favorites,
to
hey, Zaid?
him. He is. He
Yeah.
really is. However, this fucking lineup, man, is so deep. He's gonna be also one of those dudes who's knocking on those top 7 spots. Anyone who slips, he's gonna be right there. Tim is big
Mhm.
guy, very dense, hard, very conditioned when he gets peeled. And then, like you said, it's just gonna be the waistline that's gonna hurt him. So if somebody's out of shape, he's gonna slip right there and beat him.
Yeah.
So I have him in
I
my
agree.
top 8. Honestly,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have him battling it out with Amir. Amir is another good name that we need to bring up. He's peeled
Mhm.
to the
Gee.
bone.
And we're
And,
still going to
line's
get to
crazy.
we're still going to get to Joseph as well. We've got so many names we've got to
This
discuss
lineup
in
is
this one.
ridiculous, man.
We'll have to do 212 a little bit quicker, but there's people are not touching on 212, and there are some killers in 212. Like,
Yeah,
this is going to be the
yeah.
212
Yeah.
show of the year as well.
Yeah,
But this
there's
is
a good
Amir.
dude coming in there. Yeah, Amir's.
Yeah.
That's him
Wow.
last year. So that was the conditioning that he
Oh,
brought.
okay.
This was right before he competed against Roman Fritz, and he placed second. So I would venture to say that he was in better condition than Roman marginally, which is crazy to say, but in my opinion, I think he was the most conditioned bodybuilder on stage last year, that package there. But he's, 20. What is he? He's 25 years old now, so
Wow.
super young.
Jeez.
Been competing since 22, I think, as a pro, or 23. So, I mean, he does this sort of, this is his technique and stuff, because his legs are just
Take up
slightly,
space.
slightly behind where I think just the upper body thickness is. But regardless, they're still pretty damn decent legs. Carlos, what do you think of this guy? Do you think this guy can just out-condition people, or do you think he needs another year or two for this lineup?
Yeah, man. I think, and I've been seeing him for a few years, and I love his physique, and man, the conditioning, dude. That picture is like an anatomy chart for real. Like you could see all the fibers, man. It's crazy,
Isn't it?
I think to really battle with these guys, it's just something that's like not completely like filled out here, like because these guys, man, like they don't have gaps, and they don't have like like not missing, because I don't think he's really missing anything, but they're so like when they hit a pose, the pose is filled out, like and I think like it's just gonna, and he's 25, right? Come on, man. Like I think it's gonna be a few more years until he's fully filled out. What I mean? But the fact that he's 25 is ridiculous. By the time he's 30, we're going to be talking about him knocking down big name shows, possibly, like, because I think this is crazy with the level of conditioning and muscularity he can, already has. But I think with these guys, what I mean, like the Stews, the Tonios, the Martins and the Nicks, like he's just going to have to fit, like that's a crazy shot. And it's crazy that this is, like people are saying, like it's not felt like his legs or something like that, right? Like not fully there, but man, like it's a crazy shot.
The legs are still pretty solid, but it's that's the only thing you can really.
But you got guys like with just like stupid legs, like Martin and Tomio. So like I said, it comes down really to the testament of the lineup. Like he could be winning this show. Like that's the thing. Like if these guys didn't show up, he could be winning shows, and he will be winning shows. I just think it's going to be a little bit difficult. Same thing like with Angel. It's going to be difficult with these top five we're talking about. It's just hard because, man, he's got some gatekeepers that's going to keep him from making up there. But like Zayd always said, man, like been saying, like if anyone slips, if anyone's lacking, like you got some guys who are going to catch you sleeping. So, and he's one of them, man. Yeah. The more we looked at these pictures, I'm like, dude, it's tough, bro. Let's not pick top 10. Let's just pick top 5. I think we already are.
Yeah. I can't do top 10. I can't do
top 10s, bro.
Well, let's go to Joseph because, like you said, it is ridiculous, this lineup. Like, honestly, I think there's at least 10 guys that can win a pro show this year in this lineup if they pick the right show,
Holy Joseph.
Yeah. There's one photo of his shoulder where it doesn't even look real, but not in a sense that he's shot it up, in the sense that it is so striated and crazy, which means obviously it's not shot up. Like, that's blurry as well.
This is stupid. What does Giles say? Stripy delts, man. Like,
that's his thing.
He last year at the New York Pro, man, like he was a standout to me. That's my first time seeing him before, and man, I was like, who is this freak, bro? Because his shoulders are ridiculous, and he came in good condition. I don't know what he placed last year. Was it top 5? I can't be sure.
He was third around that top 5.
Third last year?
Third.
Yeah. It was behind. There's a beast too.
That's
it's just another guy, another good guy here, man. That's just like it. It's tough. It's a tough show.
Yeah, I think this guy won't be top 3 here because of the level of his lineup. But he's damn good. Has everyone said something about Joseph or wants to say anything else about him? Or shall we move on?
Good luck.
Good luck, man. It's a tough lineup.
Yeah, good luck, brother.
I didn't mean to say something to him, but it works. Oh, man, Zayd, I love it. All right, there's 2 more guys I want to touch on. 3 quickly. Is it 2 or 3? Well, I want to touch on Christian Walshy because he's tagged me in a few things and looks really, really damn good. And I also want to quickly touch on Justin Rodriguez and Milan Sadek, but I think we probably don't even need to bring up too many physique updates because we need to get through it. We need to get through this hour and a half preview of the New York Pro. But let's go to Christian Wolski, because he's a guy that has really made some huge improvements. So I think, Matt, you've seen him?
Yeah, I remember this guy.
I'll bring him up. Yeah, this is his latest update.
Yeah.
He competed last year, and he competed the year before as well, I believe, and he's sort of just continued to improve, and I believe he's working with the same coach as Andrea Presti as well. But yeah, super impressed with Christian Wolski and his latest updates. But sort of got the short torso look.
Yeah, he kind of reminds with 212 guy, but
yeah, it's got that 212 look from the back, doesn't he? Like that short torso sort of look. Yeah. But I don't think he's short. I don't think he's actually short at all. Is he, Carlos?
No, he's taller than me. No, I met him today in person. He's taller than me.
He's okay.
Everybody's taller than me, but he's taller. He's probably like 5'8", 5'9".
Yeah,
I think he's like 5'8". He's tall. Yeah, he's a bit taller.
I bet it's his coach there. What's his name? Does anyone know?
Oh man, dude, this escaped me. I just saw him today.
I know what it is because Milos was talking about it recently.
Yeah,
it starts with an M, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's right there. Mauro.
Oh, Mauro. Yeah, Mauro. Yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, he's the coach.
Very nice guy.
Yeah, and he's the coach of a lot of sort of top athletes as well over in Europe as well. So he does some very, very good work. And the other guy I wanted to quickly mention, Milan Sadek. Quickly show a physique update of him for people that don't know. And I will now just have to show you a quick photo of Justin Rodriguez as well. So this is Milan Sadek here on the right. I believe he's probably been better in the past because he was right up there sort of challenging for top fives. But, I mean, he's still a guy that looks great. But I wanted to give him his props and also Justin Rodriguez as well. Because Justin Rodriguez...
Yeah.
Who is Milan Sadek?
Yeah. He's been around for a bit, right?
Yeah.
He's been around for quite a few years. I believe was he in 212 at one stage?
I think so.
I think
so. What does Justin Rodriguez have to do? I mean, he's been doing these shows, and I think that, again, the main criticism against him, it doesn't look like it is in these shots, but when he's on stage, either he's carving up too much or I don't know, but that midsection seems to blow out a little bit, and that holds him back. So,
yeah, I agree, Matt. I think that it was the carb process. Him and his coach Justin. I think that was their first show together, Justin Jacoby, and I think the carb process probably was a bit too much for him. Maybe he doesn't need much, man. He just needs a little bit of food here and there, touch him up. He probably needs to like eat a few days before the show, and then like Thursday, Friday, like taper it down just to keep that midsection under control, because in these shots, it doesn't even look like anything.
It doesn't.
Probably just he's fasted. He hasn't eaten or drank anything.
First thing in the morning.
That's probably how he needs to go on stage.
I was going to say exactly. He definitely looks a little flat in some of these photos too. Like this back double bicep, I've never seen his back double bicep. It might be the angle a bit as well. I've never seen it look this flat prior to a show. But Justin, he's one of these guys who will post a physique update that looks crazy impressive. Then the next day post one, and I'm like, oh, he's in trouble. Then the next day post one, he looks crazy impressive. And then he shows up on stage and he's really, really good. Or he just looks different in some way. He either looks dramatically better or worse. But he's pre-contest photos. So there's almost no point putting any weight into the photos of Justin pre-contest unless there was something dramatically blown out or something. But yeah, I don't think you'll factor in here just because, like we've said, quality of the lineup and where I think his career is at this moment. But can he regain that midsection? I suppose we'll have to wait and see. But let's get into some predictions, some top fives at least, and then we can just not offend too many people. And it's pretty much a high five to anyone we put in that top five. So let's go through it. I think I'll probably change mine because I've done 2 other podcasts where I've predicted it already. But Zaid, I know you're pretty sure on at least your first pick, but I'll go through your picks, man. What's your top 5?
I'm just seeing most people competing right here. I would pick Nick first. Second is Martin. Third is Tomio. And fourth is Quinton. Fifth, Stu. And sixth would be
Angel, Tim. You've got Joseph Vetton. You've got Amir Marajic. You've got
sixth is Emir.
Ooh, that'd be a big result for him too. That'd be huge.
Yeah.
Carlos, what's your top 5, man? Do you want to predict?
Yeah, it's pretty much very similar to Zayd's. I'm gonna go Nick, Martin, Tomio, and then I'm gonna have to say Quinton, and then Stu. Yeah, the top 5 is exactly the same. I couldn't agree more with Billy picks, like exact one.
Yeah.
Dude, it's a solid top 5, and I definitely see with the caveat that like maybe like 2 people can switch, like maybe Stu and Quinton could switch, possibly. Just because Stu could probably have a little bit more of that graininess from the back. And actually, I'll go with that. Actually, I'm gonna switch up on you, and I'll move Stu to 4th, Quinton to 5th. I love Quinton, sorry brother, but for the sake of keeping them things a little bit fresh, I'll move it that way. And then I will agree. Actually, you know what? I was gonna say Amir too, but I'll say Yosef. I'll switch it up again.
Oh, I like it. I like
Number
it.
6.
I like we're doing top 6.
Nice.
Matt, what is your top 6?
So mine has changed. When I was on the Menace podcast, I had Nick, Quinton in 2nd, Tony on 3rd, Martin in 4th, and Beef in 5th. Now I'm changing it because I'm seeing guys improve and get closer to the show here. So it's still Nick in 1st. I'm gonna go with Tomio in 2nd, Martin in 3rd, Beef in 4th, and Calderon in 5th. No, wait, I missed Quinton, didn't I? Did I miss Quinton? Yeah, so
Quinton,
Nick and Nick in 1st, Tony in 2nd, Martin in 3rd, Quinton in 4th, and then I would put Beef in 5th. Yeah.
Yeah. Cool. I like it. I'm gonna put Martin in 1st. I think I'm the only person predicting him, so I'm either going to look really smart or Nick's going to come in and wipe it, just how some people think I'm going to look dumb. So I'm going to put Martin in 1st. I'm going to put Nick in 2nd. I'm going to put Tomio in 3rd. In 4th place, I have Beef Stew. I'm going to change mine. I had Quinton there originally. I'm just going to... Oh, actually, no, I'm going Quinton. Quinton in 5th, and then I'm going to put Angel in 6th. I sort of want to make a call like, oh, yeah, Angel, but then I'm like, I think Quinton's structure will just be too much and sort of show up that weakness, that sort of one of the weaknesses in Angel, which is one of the very few weaknesses, which is that sort of thickness, I suppose, of a midsection compared to Quinton, which is really, really, really tiny. So yeah, so that's it for the Open. Let's touch on the 212 a little bit because the names in there are ridiculous. And the one that I say straight away, and also, guys, mention if you know any of these names that I'm missing off. I know, obviously, Kerep. I see Ole in there. I see Aaron Pilates, who's on the Desktop Bodybuilding podcast from time to time. And then I know there's other good names in here as well.
Yeah, just Jason Joseph.
Jason Joseph, Giuseppe Zagarella. Yeah. He did really well last year. So we're gonna,
Francisco is good.
Yes, he's very good.
Yeah, he's very good. And then Tristan Telasico. He's making a comeback. I think he made a pro debut in like years ago, maybe 2016, 2017. You're a pro. Ole, he's doing it. Yeah, there's some good guys in here.
I'm not familiar with Tristan. I don't think I have to definitely check him out. But this is like it's funny that we've seen 212 shows where we've gone, oh, the quality's not there, and then we get a 212 first one of the year, I believe, and it's stacked, like ridiculously stacked.
Yeah.
Now, Kerep has to be the favorite. This guy, I believe he was top 4 in the Olympia just gone. Is that right?
Yeah, he was top 4.
3rd place.
Yeah.
Was he 3rd? Yeah.
4th place, wasn't he?
Yeah. I was going to say 3rd, and then I was like, no, I think it was 4th. And then you said 3rd, so I'm down myself. But he looked really damn good at the Olympia just gone. Obviously, he's getting older, but I don't think he's too old, but his physique's like slipping. It's not like his legs have faded or anything like that. And he's, some guys like Kerep has gotten better with conditioning and gotten better with age. So, Matt, do you think that Kerep should be the favorite of this, or do you think that there's someone else that can come in and win?
Yeah, I think he's the front runner for sure. So I would put him as first.
Yeah.
For sure.
I agree.
That's very cool.
Definitely.
Carlos?
I put him in first. There's some guys that I think will be, comparable, but I don't think that they'll knock him off. I think he's the front runner for sure.
Yeah, and really he has to be the front runner and have to give him his respect. And There's some other guys in there though that I definitely have to shout out, because there's some guys in there like Aaron Pilates, who's been on this podcast. The last time he competed, he was ninth at the Olympia, and beating Angel Calderon. So there's guys like that could, and I think he's going to be his all-time best too. So where does that sort of fit in? Is he going to be good enough to be challenging an Angel? I don't know. I don't know how that sort of looks, but where's the latest update from this guy? Here we go. This is a Patrick Tool client, I believe, too.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
this guy.
maybe
Okay.
check Patrick's page.
Yeah, Patrick's
He does
always
put up
got
a lot
updates.
more frequent. Yeah,
But
I think he put up a back double that was pretty good, pretty dry, pretty gnarly.
this one,
Let's see, I thought he put one up. Yeah, there you go. That's one.
I think you guys have like a
Recent one, that's
two second delay on my video.
Oh, yeah.
So yeah, he looks good. I just don't think he'll be big enough to challenge
No,
just yet. But he's definitely
no,
good.
but-
Tristan. Not seeing this guy, I don't.
Yeah, he works with Fakri, and he I know he's making a comeback. He looks good.
Oh, I have seen this guy actually before.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's a nice side chest. Oh, yeah, there's Fakir there. I always get very nervous saying his name.
He looks good. Like he might be a threat in the top 5. Yeah.
Yeah, he's definitely one of those guys that you see standing up there and be like, where did this guy come from?
Yeah.
One of those
He's a
guys
bit taller, I think, though, to be honest with you. I think he's a bit
Yeah.
taller for the 212, but he's fitting into it somehow with weight cap.
Yeah.
Probably absolutely killing himself to get down. But Olay is another guy. Is that how you pronounce his name? Olay?
Yeah,
Olay.
I think so. Ole.
Krivel. I don't know how to pronounce that. Ukrainian, I believe, right?
Yeah.
Ukrainian. Very, very good bodybuilder. This is the harshest lighting on
Yeah.
planet Earth. If anyone has seen photos of guys a week out
Yes.
there and then they show up on stage looking really good. But this guy comes in mega shape, like absolute insane conditioning, and he's super dense. Matt, do you think this guy can win this show if he brings his best?
I just think his structure is a little more rugged compared to Greek. So I think he can definitely be in that third, fourth, maybe second, because he can bring that crazy conditioning, the muscularity, the vascularity, the thickness. So he looks good. I think he's going to be right in the mix for sure.
Do you guys ever think
Feel.
that do you ever think that just this hernia sometimes makes you think that he doesn't have as nice shape? You know what I mean? Like for some reason, when I see stuff like that, it sort of throws my eye a little bit. I go, like,
It
if I
does.
color that, is it as bad? I don't know. Maybe I'm just
It's
making
a little
that
bit of a
up, but
distraction, a little bit. Yeah. But
yeah, I mean, it doesn't
It
look
isn't
that
that bad.
bad, to be honest.
it's not bad. Yeah.
Yeah, I've had an umbilical hernia as well, and just the paranoia of that thing popping out, like when you're posing on stage, is horrible.
Oh Lord.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
I think it's just when he pulls up to in his front double, like Matt said, he has a bit of a more rugged physique, but I mean, he's a guy who's
He's a shorter dude,
some
too.
crazy condition.
Yeah.
He is shorter too. Yeah.
The-
yeah.
Most of the 212s are in general, but yeah, I know. What you mean.
Yeah.
Is he shorter than the average 212 or no?
He might be like 5'4", 5'5".
Yeah. All right. Let's discuss who else have we got on this list. Got Aaron Pilates, who's obviously making his comeback. Last time competed was 2019 at the Olympia, as I mentioned, a placed 9th there in a very, very stacked 212 lineup back then as well. And this is the package that he brought to the stage then. Very, very
Oh, yeah.
complete.
Yeah.
Really misses nothing to his physique. He's not like he's I believe that's Ole there actually.
Excited for this one.
Background. But yeah, he's
without the beard.
Pittman in the background there. Yeah. Yeah.
Nice.
yeah, he
Oh,
had
this
a
is-
few issues. This is a recent update. So
Yeah.
he had a few issues and he's holding a bit of fluid, but now he's looking his best ever. So I think Aaron can definitely mix things up at this 212 show. And if he does bring his all-time best and Kerif isn't his all-time best, I think there can be, a challenge there. I think definitely for sure. I'm picking Aaron top 2, and I've said to Aaron throughout it, I think you're going to win the New York. And then I saw the lineup and I'm like, well, it's up in the air, but he's definitely one of the favorites.
It's going to be a bit of a battle.
Yeah, it's going to be good, man. I don't think it's going to be an easy win for anyone, no matter what. And yeah, he's looking sensational. But I don't know my level of biases on that as well. But what do you guys think of
Too high. Aaron is great, man. He's very balanced.
Yeah.
And he has some wicked shots. So he can be in the top 3 for sure, no problem.
Yeah. I agree. All right. Zagarella, this guy, when I did the stream last year, I was sort of just learning. I'm not following him for some reason. I was just learning his name for the first time, but I was a huge fan.
Hey,
it looks like he's also coached by saw that guys. Oh, that was him there.
That's the dude who got second place to Ashkanani, right? Last year?
Yeah, and I was doing this live stream and I was like, this guy could win because he's pretty versus Ashkanani. So that's how good this guy is, Giuseppe Zagarella. And I mean, he's a guy that could potentially win this show, I think. Carlos, could you see that happening?
I could definitely see it happening. He has a wonderful physique. That show last year against Ashkanani, I know he served notice and put his name out there, for 212. I think I got to see him against the lineup against these guys because, Aaron and Kareth have that maturity to their muscle, and it just shows up differently sometimes when you really look at it, and they're not lacking in the shape department. So I definitely want to see how he stacks against these guys, but I could see him up there for sure.
Yeah, for sure. And what was the other names we need to discuss? We've got Lucas Coelho in this one.
Look,
he's a damn good competitor. It's actually funny. He tore his biceps. So I saw when he had that. Oh, maybe he's Lucas. Is that how you spell Lucas? No, yes. Okay, so we cannot find Lucas.
There he is.
Is that him?
I don't know if it's him.
I expect to see a bodybuilding photo,
Yeah, that might be him. Yeah, it is.
Yeah,
okay, this guy. He's sort of Brazilian.
Yeah, so he tore his bicep, and before he actually tore the bicep, I don't know if he'd torn it previously or what. Like, I don't know if Carlos, you having a Brazilian connection now, if you know anything about this, but he always had one bicep that looked either really long or it looked different. And then he tore that bicep afterwards. So I don't know if it was torn once and then he tore it again or what the deal was, but he sort of had that to contend with, which I think made it harder in his career because he seemed to be getting right up there at the 212 Olympia even. But he's a very, very good competitor, and this was posted 3 days ago. So he's just another guy that could win this show.
Yeah.
Zaid, what do you think of this guy?
I'm not really familiar with him, but looking at those pictures right there, he's very balanced, very good side shot.
I thought you would have known him, man. Lucas with the dreadlocks.
Oh, yeah. Oh, did he shave his hair?
He's just got hats on and stuff, I think. Yeah, he's got hats on.
Oh.
Yeah, he did shave his head, actually. There's no dreadlocks coming out the back.
Oh,
Yes.
okay.
Yeah.
No, I recognize him. Yeah. But I'm not sure how he's going to stack up in this lineup. It's phenomenal, to be honest. If he has an injury, so...
There's the bicep. I think some,
Yeah. Oh, wow.
Yeah. It's a lot smaller than
He's shredded, though.
Yeah.
I wonder if it was torn in the past and then he just had it surgically repaired, because before it actually looked almost, it looked bigger, but it was like really long. Like it's like it almost went like out and like smashed into his forearm when he was hitting that front double. So it did look strange before, and then it's like he's torn it, and now it actually looks more normal, if that makes sense. So it looks more like correct now. So I don't know, or maybe it was look, complete speculation. Maybe it was shot and then that caused a tear. But I'm just saying that stuff.
It looked like it. That's kind of what that's cool. I saw what it looked like, and it looked like there was something in there, like a lump or something, and then it was torn. He was in the hospital after, so.
Yeah. Which is
things
strange.
Happen, abscesses happen and things. So
yeah,
it could be one of those.
Dude, anything can happen. Like we've seen Dexter, go on stage and then his bicep looked all messed up, and it's like everyone's like his career's over. It was just he has to put his gear somewhere and he shot it in there and it just went wrong a week out or something. So those things can happen. I mean, let's be real. It's not we're not all natural taking creatine, But what is there any other names here?
Jason Joseph. Check Jason. I did a feature on him. Jason Joseph, right in the middle there. It's down under.
Oh, okay. I'm completely.
Local guy, East Rutherford.
Oh, yeah. Awesome. I'll have to see that in New York.
Local guy.
Oh, he's following me. Back. Oh,
yeah, he looks.
Yeah, he looks good. Big arms.
So
it's a good shot. Good.
As long as he can bring in the glutes and the hams, well, he's got good shape.
That back's crazy. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Looks
I don't
really
think he'll be contending here, but yeah, he's got a very good physique.
Yeah.
So. Yeah, impressed, man.
Yeah,
that's nice.
Cool. Is there anyone else we need to discuss? I'm sure I'm missing names off here that are really, really good bodybuilders, but is this for this guy? I think this guy is a unit. Hold on 1 second. I think this is the last guy we'll discuss, and then we'll do our predictions. And I don't know if we'll get to listener questions on this episode because I don't want to keep you guys all day. I'm sure you got things to do, but
I was just gonna say I have to jump off in 10 minutes.
Oh yeah,
I gotta go to work.
Yeah, we'll wrap it up.
No, yeah. He's a good 212 guy.
Oh yeah, this guy. Yeah.
He's a Brazilian guy.
He's a tank.
Yeah. So thickly muscled. One of the thickest guys, honestly, in the 212, I think.
Yeah, for sure.
Possibly.
Yeah.
Yep.
Francisco.
I got to catch up with these 212 guys, man. I don't know half of them. Most of them like
212's.
I really don't know.
212's is a good show, man.
Great class. Great class.
If we can have Aaron in there and have a bunch of these other guys coming back, because honestly, I feel like when the whole pandemic situation happened, I feel like it killed some of those international bodybuilders in terms of their career. Like if they were going to end it, it's like, well, this thing's going on for a year and a half. I can't really compete. And then they just sort of fell off it, or they retired or just sort of never competed again. And that's sort of what happened to Aaron, because we were stuck for years out here in Australia, and people forget that. And the 212, for whatever reason, is so comprised of international guys. So I think, honestly, that's what sort of hurt the 212 a bit.
Yeah. Could be.
Yeah. But guys, let's do a quick 212 prediction. I should have brought back the competitors list, but the guys, I'll mention them so you guys can have a bit of we'll do like a top three, because I think it's a bit hard otherwise. So we've got Aaron Pilates, we've got Lucas Coelho, we've got Giuseppe Zagarella, we've got Francisco Barrios Volk, we've got obviously Kerif Bajo, we've got Ole as well. So some good guys there. There's about 6 guys for you to pick from to put into a top 3. So I'll go first because I feel like I've got mine in my head. So I'm going to put my guy Aaron Pilates in first. I feel like he's going to make the improvements. I'm going to put Kerif Bajo in second, and then I'm going to put Giuseppe Zagarella in third. So I'm being, ultimate, what do I call it? Fanboy, homeboy. Yeah, bias. That's it.
I got Kerif, and then Zagarella, and then Ole.
Yeah, Ole. It's hard to leaving a guy like Ole, who came 7th or 8th in the 212 Olympia, leaving him out of a top 3 goes to show the quality of this lineup. So, Matt, what's your predictions?
I got yours? No, Kerif, Ole, and Zaka. How do you pronounce his name again?
Giuseppe Zagarella.
Yes. Yeah.
I literally only know how to say that because on my live stream I was obsessed with saying his name and going Zagarella. So only way I remember it, just the literal association. But Matt, before we wrap this thing up, man, tell us about Muscle Discord. I'll put the link in the description below.
I'll leave my prediction.
Oh, did Carlos do his?
Oh, Carlos, my bad.
Let it go.
Carlos, you need to get him in as much trouble as us, man. You need to get as much trouble as us.
Yeah, this is hard. So, but I'll go Kerif, Zagarello, and then I've seen Tristan since I first started bodybuilding. So I like to see him get up there, and I think he's tall, but I think he's got some muscle. So I'd like to see him in top 3. So let's see. Yeah, we'll say Tristan Escalasco in third.
Cool. So have you put your biased friend pick in?
Biased because when I first started getting on bodybuilding, he's one of the first like guys I saw like kind of posting stuff, and I was like, oh, this guy's cool. So it's kind of cool to see him have a comeback. I was a fan when I first started, so yeah, I'm biased in that one.
Yeah, I mean, I'm glad I'm not the only one, so that works well for me. But, yeah, we'll go back. We'll wrap it up quickly. Matt, tell us about Muscle Discord. The link's in the description below, and let people know what's coming up.
Yeah, you join me on Muscle Discord. I'm dropping the Ed Connors interview I did with them next week, and I got
man.
Benny Galante. Yeah, Ed, man, it was awesome to have him on. I mean, the knowledge
awesome.
and the experience he's been through, it's crazy. So that's up. And then we have the Matt Mac show, Back Truck, on Sundays. We do live reactions to whatever happened in the week. So yeah, join us. And again, thank you, Xavier, for having me on the show. This is awesome, and I really do appreciate it.
Pleasure, my man. Much appreciated. Everyone go subscribe to him. Zaid, I'll put the link to your Instagram and everything in the description below. Do you have a YouTube or anything, man?
Not yet, no. But I did start
Just an OnlyFans
channel, but there's no OnlyFans. Oh my God, no way. Yeah. No, we work hard over here, bro. I have a real job. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I started my YouTube channel, but I haven't been posting anything on it until honestly, like I feel I'm in the right spot. You know, I want to get this off season moving forward furthermore before I commit to anything social media. Because honestly, man, people forget that as bodybuilders, results come first, not the media. Like, it's good to have some great content, but none of that matters if you're not bodybuilding properly. You know what I mean? So I'm worried more about the actual results versus the social media aspect. But thank you. Instagram is just fine. Thank you again for having me, by the way. I really appreciate you guys. Carlos, best of luck for you next year. Matt, it was great to meet you.
Thank you.
And that was a great one, guys. Thank you.
And Zayda, I want to thank you as well for coming on at the drop of the hat as well, because I messaged you an hour and 15 minutes before the podcast, and because I messed up with Beatty, and man, you are, well, I'm sure us three would have been fine, me, Carlos, and Matt, but I like that it looks better on the screen with four, you know, and you have good insight and everything, man, and I'd love to have you back on several times again as well. And Carlos, my man, tell us about what you've got going on. Thanks some sponsors, all that sort of good stuff as well.
Oh, yeah. So just, big shout out to Darkness, my sponsor, out of Brazil, out of Sao Paulo. They, have some athletes here, doing like men's physique and stuff. So, I'll be seeing them, and we'll be here. And yeah, so you guys stay tuned for Darkness. They'll be coming to the States later on this year, which I'm very happy for because, marketing to Brazilians is great, but I don't speak Portuguese as much as I would like. So being able to, bring it to the States and then have people here try it out would be great. So yeah, other than that, guys, appreciate you having me on, Xavier. We finally able to make it happen. I was super excited about it, man. I would love to come on again. If you would have me. And then Zaid, of course, brother. I always enjoy your insight, man. You have a really good perspective of bodybuilding, and I think it's a breath of fresh air, as well as you, Matt. Like you coming up with your podcast, Muscle Discord, man. Like, I think everyone has like a great opinion here, and it comes from a good depth of knowledge. So I think that it's just been a pleasure being on here with you guys. So yeah.
Thank you
so much, man.
Thank you.
Man, and also, Matt, I want to say as well, I want to have you back on too. I don't know if I said that to you. I know I said it to Zaid and Carlos. I didn't want to seem like an asshole as well, but I definitely want to have all you guys back on. And considering this was us four guys all on for the first time doing a podcast, and there's no regulars outside of myself, I think it worked pretty damn good. So I always like that, and it's a good dynamic. So thank you so much, guys. And like I said, all this guy's stuff is in the description below. The New York Pro is this weekend, so tune into Muscle Discord and Desktop Bodybuilding for all your updates as well. And for myself, Matt, say your last name. I can't remember.
Sinkering.
Zaid. What's Zaid's last name? Raslan.
Raslan. Yeah.
Raslan.
Yeah.
Zaid Raslan and Carlos Thomas Jr., the most easy one to say out of all three for sure. For all of us at Desktop Bodybuilding and Bodybuilding University, we are out. Hope you guys enjoyed this episode of Bodybuilding University, and if you did, give the video a thumbs up, smash that like button, and also subscribe and click the notification bell button. And that's particularly important because this is on a new channel. compared to the original desktop bodybuilding channel. Now, both channels will still be running. The original channel will have more bodybuilding news, and this one will have the podcast and interviews. So make sure you subscribe. And if you're not subscribed to the original desktop bodybuilding channel, head over there and subscribe to that as well. Anyway, guys, that's it for this one. For all the guys at Bodybuilding University and myself, Xavier Wills, we are out.